successful businesswoman. Hey, I lost my script. Oh, there we go. When successful businesswoman Carolina Anderson meets Dr. Michael Sanford, they find themselves inexplicably drawn to one another and unwittingly mirroring Eliza and John's doomed romance. Will tragedy repeat itself, or will the star-crossed lovers free themselves from the grip of fate? Oh, boy, I'm glad I memorized all that because our teleprompter went down there.
I'm glad you did too.
Pen name, C.K. Gray. Carrie Gray, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This is that book. That's a little trailer from your website there. You're a multimedia juggernaut. Your website, we'll get that up on screen. But you're selling books on like around the world, all the way from Burlington, Ontario, Canada. You're actually transplanted from California years ago.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so you've raised a family. You've been an interior designer, and here you are now living your long-time dream. You've always wanted to write a book, and now you're like a best-selling author. It's incredible. How did you get here?
How did I get here? I drove.
Boom.
That's right. No, actually, how I got here, I had my passion and my dream on hold for many, many years. And I think that knowing it was buried deep within me, it was a passion to write forever, my entire life. I love to write. When I stressed, I wrote on paper. It just relieved my stress. So anytime I wrote quotes, poetry, short stories.
And your family were encouraging. They always said, you should write.
My family always encouraged me. My parents encouraged me. My grandmother encouraged me. My uncle encouraged me. I think everybody knew deep down inside that one day I would write a book. It was just a question of when.
And you really made it happen yourself, because it's a tough nut to crack. And you're into self-publishing online. And, of course, you hooked up. I mean, you buy the books through Amazon, but you're doing, the lion's share of the marketing here. And, again, you're selling tons of books on several continents.
Amazon.com sells them, throughout Amazon, and the UK has them as well. Barnes & Noble, and it's available on all e-readers as well.
Right, and you're very savvy in terms of employing social media, whether it's Twitter or Facebook. I mean,
it is. It's just taken off. It's just the traction this book has gained. I'm still in awe because of it. I just still look at it and I say, all I did was write a book. And so
you weren't expecting this kind of success.
I was not expecting
this. It was just something that you wanted to do to fulfill yourself, and now you're fulfilling your daily checking account.
It is such a passion of mine, though. I think it was so buried within me. It's just a matter of time when when that passion would come out.
Yeah. Now, when we think of romance novels, it's a chick thing, but this is actually, you specifically wrote this. This is for all readers.
I specifically wrote it for male
including
and female.
The cover. That's why
including
there
the
isn't
cover.
a Fabio chest on this thing.
No, it's pretty clean. When you look at the cover, the nice thing about it is a man can walk through an airport. He can sit on an airplane reading the book, and the reader feedback on my website, I would say maybe 40% have been from men. The reader feedback, the testimonials.
How steamy is it?
It's not steamy. It's not
maybe
overly,
a little bit steamy?
Mildly.
How personal is it?
It's.
Oh, here I'm just being nosy.
It's fictional.
But where do you get your story? Where do you draw from?
I think there's always a little bit of the author placed in every storyline. Carolina, I will say, she, same stature as
Carrie.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carolina, but not really my story.
It's the romance novel version.
It's fun to think up the characters, and that's where you can pour your creativity into your story. When you write a fictional novel, it can be anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
People are drawn to it, and actually, since I've heard you mention in the past that. Within, 50% of people, according to stuff that you've read, 50% say they haven't. Their soulmate's still out there, so they're looking here.
I never realized how many people came to the terms that they were not with their soulmate. I can be with 10 girlfriends, and 5 of them will say, no, I'm not with my soulmate. 5 of them say, yes. So I think the stats, it's about a 50% ratio.
Well, it's congratulations on your success. So
thank you.
We have to plug your next appearance because you're doing book signings all over too. So you're going to be in Burlington, at the Burlington Mall. You're going to be at the Burlington Mall, the Kohl's bookstore. At
Burlington Mall tomorrow from 11 to 2.
Yeah.
And
got the information up on screen there.
Yep.
And of course you can head to CKGBooks as well.
Yeah, CKGBooks.com.
Yeah, there we go.
Website.
Burlington Mall.
Yep.
On Saturday. 11 to 2, and you're mentioning some books were dropped off.
Chapters Burlington on Fairview Street.
Signed?
Signed copies. There are limited signed copies at Chapters in Burlington on Fairview Street, and they have about 50 books right now. Okay,
and of course, we got to go here, but I know you're off to California. Might be a movie deal here, and of course, you're working on a sequel as well.
The sequel should be out